Hey everyone, Arcturus here. Today we're looking at the Viking Village from LEGO. This is LEGO set 21343 and comes with 2,103 pieces. This is the 51st LEGO Ideas set. This set gives us a blacksmith, a guard tower, small tower house, and a longhouse, as well as a small dock area with some ocean waves. This set would pair very nicely with the 3-in-1 set for the Viking ship, if that's still available. And this set also comes with 4 minifigures, so we'll take a look at those. But before we do, if you could like and subscribe, that would really help out the channel. And if you have a favorite part of this video or about the set, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to read it. So we'll go on to the minifigures first. So here we have the first minifigure with the blue and red shield, as well as an axe. I'll take those off so we can get a better look here at the figure. So very detailed figures in this set. Here we have a silver torso, where it's done up as armor, as well as some chainmail there on the legs, and a tiny little bit of metallic there on the foot section to really show that this is an armored figure. We have a very nice hairpiece done up as braids and some back printing there. The arms are printed in a different color, black compared to the silver of the torso, but there isn't actual printing on them. We get 2 different faces here, winking with a smirk and then just standard smirking, as well as the very nice detailed hairpiece with lots of braids. I feel I've seen this hairpiece in another set. It might have been in a different color, but I don't remember where. This piece also has a hole in the top, so it might have come from the Lion Knight's castle, is my guess. Because it's the last hairpiece I remember having the hole in the top, but I don't feel that's correct. So if you do know, please let me know. But it does have, so if you had a crown piece that you wanted to put in there, you could. Up next, we'll look at the blacksmith figure. So here, also very detailed, comes with a nice hammer piece with some printing on it. The printing is the same on both sides. Some small Norse runes there, or Lego Norse runes, and then also a paintbrush. So we'll take those out as well. And we'll get this figure. So this figure is done up in more red and black, more for that blacksmith apron there. It does have some metallic printing there on the feet and some printing on the legs. Kind of going with that blacksmith apron, as well as some smaller details there on the chest, a necklace, a belt. This hairpiece also has a hole where you could add something, so maybe I missed something in this set, or perhaps whatever set these hairpieces originally came from had some more parts to it. This figure does not have 2-sided face printing, and does have a kind of shield and hammer there on her back. So here's as best as I can do with my current setup for the back printing on this figure. You've got the belt there, and then the hammer and shield. Up next, we have the guard, who stands in the guard tower, although you could, of course, put them anywhere. Comes with a bow and a quiver. Very standard fare. If you've seen those before, you've definitely seen this set of them. Nothing unique to this set. So 1-sided face print on this one as well, but it does have some back printing, sheepskin with a deer head printed on it, which is very nice. Maybe it's not a sheepskin, but like a fur cloak there with a green stag head on it. And then here you can see the remains of the other half of the fur cloak, some belt pouches, a little bit of leather armor it looks like, and then the pants there with all that detailing. Very nicely detailed figures, especially for a LEGO Idea set. They seem to be doing quite well with them. This one also has some face paint, and then comes with a helmet. And you can see why they don't have the dual-sided face printing on this one. I will say the helmets in this feel a little strange. They feel a little oversized. I believe that's because they have these horn pieces, and they need the room for them to attach. As they feel a little taller than you would expect for a helmet, especially compared to the medieval sets, but I believe it's because of those horn pieces. So here we have the last figure, the village warrior, has a different shield with some nice detailing there on the green section and a green and yellow instead of the red and blue of the other figure. Also has a nice sword. I believe this is a similar sword to some of the medieval set swords that you could get, but it is one of the pointier ones as opposed to one of the rounded ones. So he also has a helmet, which I'll take off momentarily, also sits about the same height, but has a different set of horns, so you could swap those around as you wish. Depicts an older gentleman here with the white beard and hair, village elder or an elder warrior, and then also has a very different chest piece here, some more detailed armor compared to the guard with, the cloak hanging around with that necklace there, and then the leggings and the same footprinting. Now this one, and then here's the back of the figure with the cloak just going over that armor there, and then this one has a new shoulder piece where it's got these, or at least new to me, maybe it's in a different set, but it's a just new nice piece of armor, more leather shoulders than the metal ones, like the Lion Knight's castle, for example. So from a top-down view, we have some things here. We have a very nicely put together tree, which I won't actually pull out. I quite like it. I haven't seen this kind of pine tree building technique before, but it works quite well, and you get a little bit of a dusting of snow there on the top. And on the side here, it actually even has a little piece that looks like roots, where it's sticking out over the water's edge. There were no stickers in this set, I'm pleased to announce. We have a very nice printed piece that goes in front of the smithy, which I would have expected to be a sticker, but it is actually a printed piece, which is quite nice. And we'll see more of that when we change camera views. We have a watchtower, which has a banner and another one of the blue and red shields, like we saw in the figure earlier. And that just goes there on the side. And there is a spot for it. You only get 3 of these diamond pieces. And so that banner goes on the 4th spot. So of the buildings, we only have 2 that have lift-offable roofs. This tower here actually has a wall that comes out, but from this angle, it's difficult to see. So here we have the interior of the longhouse. And my lighting for this needs to, I'll just rotate this so we get a bit better view. So we have 2 banners here, a cup, and then a candle right next to the throne, and then some weapons along the walls. It's no unique shields in here, just reprints of the previous ones, as well as then the cooking fire here in the center. And you also have clips where you could put the banners on the other side if you wanted to. We'll rotate a little bit more. And then you also have some food here coming from the cooking section. We also have the roof of the smithy. The smithy has this very nice smoke piece here. Very cleverly done. I would not have expected it to look like this, but it looks really good in person. We have the forge here, where you can actually rotate the bellows to lift the flames up, as you can kind of see here. And we'll rotate this again to get a better angle with my lighting. And then we have a blank shield here where it needs to be painted by the smith. And then we have some extra weapons here, a pickaxe, a sword, and then some bars, and I believe a hammer. And then a blank helmet here as well, and some tools. And then we have our anvil. Let me see if I can't get out. There we go. Then we have the anvil and a bucket of water. The bucket of water is actually just a blue 1-stud piece sitting on top of it. It doesn't actually click together, so if you do have to transport this, it's something to be aware of that might fall out. And same for the stuff in the buckets. Some nice little greenery around the sides here, and some green 1-stud tiles to break up the gray and tan, as well as some small sections of snow. We have a small tree in the back, which, there you go, now you can see it, using some fern pieces to kind of give it that it's a smaller new growth tree. We also have some fish from the fishermen here on the side, and some barrels for mead, which might be better from this side, which just fold up or down to let them sit there and actually be secured so they don't fall off. It's a clever little use of the grabby piece to one of those to one of these. Now the entire set does come apart and just kind of sockets together there. Now you can see when I've taken it apart, the grabby piece is actually not detaching from, is more likely to detach from the one stud connection than from the grabby piece, but let's see if it works better on this. So only one there on the back came out. So something to be aware of if you are changing it, although it doesn't really make it any more difficult to put on. The roof for the smithy has a very nice alcove, so they just sit right on top, caught by these pieces here, and no printed pieces on this one. However, when we come to the longhouse, we have some windows, and there's windows all along the sides of several of these buildings as well. And we also have these nice printed tiles here on the front and on the back. So you can put this either way you like. The top piece is actually identical, and you have these nice gold pieces that just attach to give it a little bit of the decorative Norse section for the buildings. And that just slides right on top there. So here we have the full view of this set. You get a nice dock area here, wrapping around over to the watchtower. You get some nice little boat ties here. So I think this would pair very well with the 3-in-1 Viking set they also had. Although I have not built that set. I just suspect thematically it would for sure go, but I suspect also it would go very well with that set as well. Here on the guard tower, we actually have these smooth tile pieces where they are offset slightly, which is quite nice. Gives it a little more texture, so it doesn't look like it's too perfect to actually have been built. Has some nice attachments here. It's accessible by this bridge here, which then has a downward ladder underneath this section here. Before we rotate that way, I just wanted to give a better view. So you have this nice set of stairs leading up to the tower door, which actually makes use of wands from Harry Potter to give that banded iron look. And that door does open, so you could get a minifigure in there. There's a nice window here under the tower. And of course, the top is open. I was a little surprised there wasn't a door up here. There's another one of these printed pieces here that you also see on the longhouse. And then there's some very interesting ways to give texture to this, to take this piece and actually give it a little bit more shape, or different shape, on the sides of that building there. So we have, the smithy, we have this nice tree, you have a little tiny piece to kind of show that it's got roots coming out of the ground there, which I thought was just a nice little touch. And then we have the doors to the longhouse, which are all tiled off, and I'll move this minifigure out of the way. Then we have access to the inside there, 2 big double doors, some candles here on the front. Take this off so you can get a better view there. You have the cooking fire there in the center, and then the throne there in the back. And I will just close these up real quick. And put this figure back. I guess I can put it here so it's a little more attached. Well, and then these just sit right there on the top, like a lot of the Lego building roofs where they're angled, where they just kind of rest there. And then so here we have that nice plaque. We have the bellows for the furnace to where you have the flames attached. Oops. Just knocking everything off. I'll just slide you out of the way. Actually, we will take you off. So this is attached to those flames there, so you can raise the flames like you're pumping the bellows. Which is just nice. Some little extra greenery here. And there's also some clear tiles here, where the light blue transparent tiles to show waves coming into the up against the village. Some backside views here. Let me slide the roof back on. Just slots right in there. Then we have the back of the village. You have a nice window behind the throne. There's also some windows in here with like an antler piece going above them. You have the small tree, another window here with some wooden horns there. small cave around the back underneath the tower. And then we have the back tower wall that comes off so that you can access it. And you have the door, some vegetables in the ladder going down right in front of one of the windows. And we have the other last window here, which uses these tiled off pieces and this to kind of give you the arch over the window. It's just a nice touch. There's not much hidden in this back cave. No hidden Easter eggs that I'm aware of, at least. And then we have this side, I think, is the least picturesque for it, although it does have this. You'd probably want to take this piece off, just because you get this section here in the back for how it attaches. Otherwise, I think if you look at it from this way, it looks very nice. Not that it looks bad from the other one, just not as nice looking as the other view. Inside the tower, we also have, another window on that wall, and then a small desk with what is probably supposed to represent a loaf of bread or something there. And that just slides right back in quite nicely. Overall, I really like the set. It's a fun build. It looks great. It'd pair very nicely with the other Viking set they've done. I hope they do more Viking sets. I distinctly remember there being like a dragon ship and some other Viking-esque sets from years ago. I don't know if the figures are repeats or how much is repeated from that 3-in-1 set, so I can't speak to that, but overall I thought it was an excellent set. The lack of stickers is definitely a plus, especially at this price point. I personally think that any set over $100 shouldn't have stickers in it. Under $100, ideally, none of them should have stickers, but it should all be printed pieces, but once you hit that $100 threshold, it really starts to pull away from the overall quality of the set to have those sticker pieces in it, as opposed to all these printed pieces. Now, I suspect with the Vikings, with this Viking Village, that some of them are probably repeats from other sets, so they already had them prepped to go in, or to be made. Generally speaking, it was an excellent set. Definitely enjoyed building it. Looks great. I really like some of the details here on the roof where you have the white tiles mixed in with the tan and gray, or even here on the tower and longhouse where you have these pieces, I'm not sure what they're called, mixed in so it looks like it's thatch, which is just a nice little attention to detail. Breaks up what would normally just be a plate. It isn't smoothly tiled entirely. But you do have the smooth sections with these, and it just really adds to the texture of the set. The minifigures in the set are quite detailed, which is excellent. Always a plus. It would be nice if we had, a few more or a boat to go with it, but it is, as it stands, quite nice. Has some separatability if you only want to show a portion of it or attach it to something else. I think it also pair well with some of the medieval sets. Well, that's all I have for today. I will see you in the next video.